Welcome back, everybody. This is Question Mark,
And I'm Ame.
and we are continuing to review commanders from the new Marvel Superheroes set. Every commander that you can possibly run as your commander, and we are in the standard set.
Part 4.
Part 4. I think this is 3 actually.
Nope, this is 4.
This is 4.
I swear this is 4.
Oh, jeez. Well, you'll see it in the title. I'll have it right there for sure.
And if I'm wrong, you can laugh at me in the comments.
Oh, feel free. Um, we left off just after Jessica Jones, one of my favorite characters and one of my favorite shows, to Justice, who I know nothing about. I've never heard of this guy.
I don't know who this invincible looking guy is either.
Oh, yeah, like the blue and gold, like Invincible. Well, his name is Vance Astrovic, but what does he do?
For 2 mana and a blue, you get a 2/2 mutant hero with flying.
He's a mutant.
When Justice enters, return up to one target non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand. Whenever another non-land permanent you control is returned to its owner's hand, put a 1/1 counter on Justice. So he likes to bounce.
Okay, he can bounce on it, I guess. So I like that he's a mutant for personal reasons. I have a blue-green mutant deck, and I want more blue-green mutants, even though that's not a big theme in this set. He seems okay. Actually, you know what? I think he's going in my deck, because my deck does have a big preference on evasive creatures and +1/+1 counters. His ability is just a one-time enter and bounce a thing. That's okay. It compares with classics like Mana War. This goes way back. 3 mana 2/2 when this enters, return a creature to its owner's hand. So this guy's a 3 mana 2/2 when he enters, return a non-land, non-token permanent to its owner's hand. Very similar. But also has flying and also has a way that you can grow if your own stuff is bounced.
So how bouncy do they get in blue?
Quite bouncy. And by the way, this card goes all the way back to Visions in 1996.
Hey, cool, I was 4.
So yeah, returning creatures to your hand can be a strategy. It's a bit like Blink or Flicker, in that they leave the battlefield and then return to the battlefield, except that you usually then have to pay their mana costs again. But also blue does do some straight up flickering with things like, what was it, Teferi's Time Twist? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, Teferi's Time Twist kind of does it. So you can put some Blink in here and then get reuse out of his ability. Same thing with this.
Specifically has to be returned to the owner's hand.
You control, return to its owner's hand. Yeah, so he won't get a counter if you flicker something, but if you flicker him, he will bounce a thing, and so you can get his first effect over again.
And if someone bounces you, then you'll get some counters as well.
Bounces you?
Giggity.
Yeah, exactly. So, he's, I think, a wild card at best, is what I can say. I'm going to put him towards the bottom of wild cards, because there's kind of enough support here between blinking and bouncing, but he's going to have a hard time getting more than one counter most of the time. Because if you do blink him or bounce him, then he loses his counters. And just being in mono blue is okay. So I think I'm willing to put him up in wildcard, and that's generous, because I think he's probably a better fit in the 99 of like a blue-white deck, but...
Agreed.
But good enough. And maybe you can find a way to bounce like a bunch of stuff other than him and get a bunch of counters on him, but...
Good luck.
Good luck. We're moving on to Kang, Temporal Tyrant.
Temperamental Tyrant.
Oh, yeah. One of the many Kangs. What does this one do?
For 2 mana, a blue and a black, you get a 3/4 human villain. Whenever Kang attacks, he connives, and if you don't remember what that is, then you draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, you put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And whenever you draw your second card each turn, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life.
I like lifesteal. I like repeatable lifesteal. I like that it counts your second card drawn on each turn, so if you can find a way to draw multiple cards on your opponent's turns, then that's good. He has a built-in way of doing the connive thing once on your own turn. 4 mana, 3/4 is just a little bit underwhelming, but not that bad. all that said, while you could make him the commander of a connive deck, it's pretty clear that the Doctor Doom is the much better connive commander. So he seems to me to be a pretty solid sidekick, though.
Ouch.
Oh, the Kang is a sidekick today?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you'll see other videos by us where we're ranking commanders where Kang is much higher up on the list, but this is the uncommon Kang, and he's a sidekick. You could play him as your commander. Once again, it's not bad, but I think you could do better.
Speaking of Kang,
Hey, Kang the Conqueror, the mythic one. I hope this one's good.
for 2 mana and 2 blue, you get a 4/5 human villain with flying. Yikes. And his power-up is 5 mana and 3 blue. You put a 1/1 counter on Kang. Taking an extra turn after this one. During that turn, power-up abilities can't be activated.
Whoa. So he takes extra turns. Okay. So, first off, vanilla test?
Pass.
Yeah. That's one of the key differences between a lot of these commanders that are uncommon and a lot of these that are mythic rares, is that even this guy who's clearly not focused on, like, killing people, he's focused on, like, taking extra turns and stuff, he's still passing the vanilla test with flying colors and has an ability that involves him growing and taking an extra turn. So the craziest thing about this is, and I know that there's other cards that probably do it better than Teferi's Time Twist, if you blink Kang, 2 things. One, you can reset his ability to power up.
Is that how it works? Because normally you can only use a power-up ability only once.
Exactly.
But it doesn't count
says
if
this only once. The game loses track of an object when it changes zones.
Oh, okay.
So if
okay.
so if Kang leaves the battlefield, then the game doesn't remember that he already did his power-up when he returns. It's a similar reason to why enchantments fall off and counters fall off. The game will lose track of him if he blinks.
Okay, so if you have this guy as your commander, you're probably going to want a counter catcher. Like, what was that one called? Obelisk?
Oh, you're thinking, I think, of the Ozolith?
Yeah, that.
The Ozolith. Well, the +1/+1 counter is, like, something that he does, but the take an extra turn after this one is clearly the powerhouse here. So, the key is that you can take an extra turn, and then after you're done doing whatever you're doing on that extra turn, you can blink him, and then luckily you can't take infinite turns because of this. But it does mean that you can probably take double turns every turn.
As long as you can reliably blink him. And does blue have the capacity?
A little less than white, but yes, especially if you include some bounce as well. But here's the craziest thing, the thing that I haven't mentioned yet, that I hope someone at home is screaming, is that you reduce the cost of the power-up ability by his mana cost if he entered this turn.
Ooh, discount.
So if you blink him for, like, 1 or 2 mana using something like, Teferi's Time Twist, then when he enters, he'll reduce the power-up cost by 4. So you don't actually have to, in this case, have the full 8 mana when you drop him and do the thing all at once. You can flicker your power-up creatures in order to get the power-up cost reduction. So yeah, I think that if you're building this deck, you are building a double turn deck, and it's pretty sick, and I'm going to put him up in strong.
Super.
Yeah, I'm thinking somewhere around here.
Take that, other Kang.
Yeah. So, next we have Khazar of the Savage Land.
I don't know this person.
Oh, have you heard of the Savage Land in Marvel?
No.
Are you familiar with the old book, The Lost World, not the Michael Crichton one?
No, actually.
Okay. It's Land of the Lost, anything like that. It's basically an island near the tropics that was lost to time where dinosaurs still exist.
Cool.
So, what does he do?
For 4 mana and a green, you get a 3/2 human barbarian hero. He looks a little like Simon Belmont.
Oh, yeah.
You may look at the top card of your library at any time.
Ooh.
You may play lands from the top of your library. When Khazar enters, create Zabu, a legendary 2-green cat creature token with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, put a 1/1 on Zabu.
Okay, so 5 mana for a 3/2 is bad. Being able to play lands from the top of your library is pretty good. That does compare to, I think, Courser of Krufix. Yeah, you play with the top card of your library revealed, you may play lands from the top of your library, and when you do, you gain 1 life. This is kind of the old way of doing it, where you play with the top card of your library revealed. These days, usually they let you just look at it, so your opponents don't get to know what you're doing.
Yep.
Very sneaky, very sneaky. Plus, I think people do like the act of, like, peeking at the top card and going tee-hee.
Yeah.
So,
A little bit of psychological warfare.
and when you play a land, you make your cat bigger, and
Big
when
kitty.
he enters, you do make that cat. So 5 mana for a 3/2 sucks, but he does automatically come in with like 5 power and 4 toughness. And yet, I think that he doesn't compare terribly favorably to a lot of the other landfall commanders you could be playing. In mono green, you're probably better off with like Azusa, Lost But Seeking, where you can just play extra lands every turn. Or if you're playing other colors, you could play like Omnath, the angry one, where you just make 5/5s whenever you play lands. Instead of making your cat get +1/+1, you could drop a new 5/5 every turn.
Can we see the kitty token?
Oh yeah, great idea.
Kitty.
Zabu. Oh, look at
It's so
Zabu.
cute.
Wait, okay, Rhonda Libby. Hold on. This is Rhonda Libby. Is she? Yes, I thought so. She was doing some of this new Capenna Art Deco stuff. Look at this stuff. Look at the Ocelot Pride.
Look at the Otterball antics and the ruthless negotiation.
Okay, I am suddenly a big fan of her work. I don't think that it makes sense on every Magic card, but I love the Magic cards it does make sense on, even on the Basilisk color that's clearly a beagle.
So cute.
Okay, Rhonda Libby. I'll try to remember that name. So as it stands, I think Khazar is not actually a bad commander, honestly. I think that he's probably like a bracket 2 all-star. But I'm thinking he probably goes around here. Well, wait, no, I was gonna say actually that he's probably a better sidekick and that he's probably better in the 99. But I'm gonna put him actually over here then.
Okay.
You could do it, but your landfall decks, there's just so many choices, so many options, you know?
You got so
don't
many
be stuck
options
on
for
mono green.
landfall. Why would you choose this guy when you've got others?
Yeah. So don't get stuck on mono green. Put them in the green decks. Then we have, Kid Loki. You saw season 1 of the Loki TV show, right?
Hell yeah.
So, yes, you remember this guy, and he had a friend who was a crocodile, and he's kind of a punk.
There were so many forms of Loki, and it was funny. I
Yeah,
loved
they're
how
pretty good.
I love how you've got the old man Loki in this old chintzy looking costume
Oh, yeah, like he bought it at
at a Spirit Halloween.
Yes, exactly.
And then later on, he's like, all right, just give me a minute. I'm going to do some weather manipulation. And it's like, damn, you really are the best you're the best Loki with the magic, aren't you?
Oh, and I love that his, like, canon story is that he basically just, like, bailed and hid for decades while everything was going wrong with Asgard. Regardless, Kid Loki.
For 1 mana, you get a 1/1 god hero villain. Each creature you control that you've put 1 or more 1/1 counters on this turn has hexproof. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, put a 1/1 counter on Kid Loki.
So are we seeing the theme here that in blue there is a theme of drawing multiple cards each turn, and a 1 mana 1/1 who has a repeatable way to grow is off to a pretty good start. Gaining hexproof is pretty good, although you really want to pack your deck with instants that can put +1/+1 counters on creatures so that you can effectively counter spells. So here's what I gotta know. I gotta do a Scryfall search for +1/+1 counter target creature. I want instants specifically, and I want in the color blue, and I want to sort by mana value. Okay, so how many do we have? Oh no.
Oh no.
There's only
6.
6. Now, this might not be the best Scryfall search possible, but I'm also not liking some of these. Okay, well, counter target creature spell. No, that'll probably be fine. This is another flicker, I believe. This is another flicker. Space Shift. Neat. Way to go, Thanos, and your very cool chair. Wow, actually, these last three are like the same card. And this is the same card if your creature is a spirit, but most of these aren't. So, whoa, okay, Kid Loki. Yeah, you're absolutely sidekick material, which is a shame because if your commander comes out on turn 1, that can be a huge advantage.
He's just not the guy, not the kid.
No, but giving hexproof at instant speed is still a pretty powerful thing to put in your deck, but you want to find a color that has a lot more instants that put plus almost one counters. Green and white do it the best. So if you're playing blue-white, blue-green, blue-white, green, Kid Loki might be the way to go. Moving on to Killmonger, Scourge of Wakanda. This guy's cool.
For 2 mana, a black and a green, you get a 3/3 human mercenary villain. When Killmonger enters, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, destroy target non-land permanent an opponent controls. As long as there are 2 or more creatures in your graveyard, Killmonger gets +2/+1.
Okay, so assume that we do have those 2 creatures in the graveyard. Does he pass the vanilla test?
Yeah.
Okay. And he has an enters trigger where you can sacrifice something to kill something. And that's all well and good. But to me, this is a limited all-star.
Very limited.
Yeah, and limited in this case, I'm meaning sealed and draft. In sealed and draft, this is exactly the kind of card that you want to be playing. A creature who is above rate if you go through a pretty easy hoop, and a creature that can allow you to, pay your weakest thing to kill their most powerful thing. That's great. As a commander, that is weak sauce. And the real question of this guy is, does he make it as a sidekick even? Because I'm not saying this is a bad card, but it's a bad commander. But does he make it as a sidekick? Well, what theme does he go in? I guess he goes in a theme of sacrificing creatures, aristocrats or something, but honestly, I'm skeptical. I think I'm going to give him the benefit of a doubt a little bit, because I think the rate's not terrible. I'm going to put him down here. Literally bottom of sidekick.
Oof.
Yeah.
He's not going to like that.
No, he is not. He's got too much pride for all of that. And he looks very cool, but I don't know if you've got a villain deck that's like this, a mercenary deck that's like this. He doesn't have any keyword abilities or anything, so yeah, I think that also he kind of pales in comparison most of the time to Ravenous Chupacabra, where it's just 4 mana kill a creature.
Yeah.
But but there is some upside to it, so.
And we're gonna annoy him even more by following him up with King T'Challa.
Yeah, so yeah, this is his rival as king, which they fought for it. What does he do?
For 1 mana, a white and a blue, you get a 3/2 human noble hero with flash. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, you draw a card. For 4 mana, a white and a blue, you transform King T'Challa, but you only activate this as a sorcery.
So this is kind of cool right up front, by the way. 3 mana, 3/2 with flash, and whenever anyone draws their second card, you draw one. That includes yourself.
Get them draws.
Yeah, you can even have multiple people drawing cards on your turn and multiple people drawing cards on other people's turns and draw multiple extra cards. This is a crazy card draw engine. Yeah, seriously, if you have each player draw 2 cards on your turn, each of them will trigger this, so you'll draw 4 more. This is kind of crazy. I almost don't need to turn King T'Challa into the Black Panther in order to have this being the best blue-white card draw engine in a pseudo group hug style deck that I've seen. But let's check out Black Panther, Hope Enduring.
3/3 human warrior hero with flash and double strike.
Ooh.
Prevent all damage that would be dealt to Black Panther. And whenever Black Panther deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Not as good of a card draw engine, but holy crap.
I mean, you're still going to be drawing 2 cards a turn, most likely. Well, people are going to probably chump block you a lot. We do have a problem of 6 mana for a 3/3. Having double strike goes a long way, and actually, preventing all damage that would be dealt to him means that the toughness almost doesn't matter. The only time this toughness matters is if you're doing something like, what's it called? Dismember? You know? Dismember will still kill him because it gives him -5 toughness.
Gnarly.
And that's a fairly popular card. Flash is a little weird on a creature that's double-faced and is in the command zone, but, it's still an upside.
I guess that means you can transform him mid-turn?
Well, you can only transform him as a sorcery.
Oh.
It does mean that if you have King T'Challa in your command zone, you can either drop him as a 3-mana flash, or you can drop him as a 6-mana flash. So that's the main thing, is that if they have mana costs on both sides, you can cast him as either side from your hand or the command zone.
I love how that kid in the background is just going like, yeah!
Woo! Oh, and we haven't looked at alternate arts for many of these because it'll take more time, and this is a huge series already. But the back face, what the heck? Oh, he's fighting Venom! Cool.
The art styles are so very different.
And this one, I like they put Black Panther, the logo, behind him when he's Black Panther and not when he's King T'Challa.
Neat.
And then another one where they went with the old school, his original comic book cover. Very cool.
Very cool.
Okay, so how good is he? I think King T'Challa is super. I think he's probably around here. And I'm not sure how best to manage him transforming into the other side. Maybe the way to go is you build up a crazy, crazy hand that no one can stop. Then you transform him with some auras and equipment on him, and then you just wreck house with double strike stuff. Maybe you put some Sword of Feast. Everybody knows Sword of Feast and Famine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, put some swords on him. And, whenever a creature with a sword on it hits somebody, it triggers its ability. And so with Double Strike, it triggers the abilities twice. Yeah, put some swords on this guy and make that your finisher. I think this is a pretty great deck. So, good on you, King T'Challa.
And now Killmonger's going to come after us.
Yeah, because...
He's probably going to send Claw after us.
Oh, yeah, Claw was also in the Black Panther movie. This one looking a little bit more like the one from the movie that we saw.
For 2 mana and a black, you get a 2/2 human rogue villain. And his ability is Sonic Attack. When Claw enters, target player reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to 1 plus the number of creature cards in your graveyard. You choose one of them. That player discards that card.
Okay, so, I'm going to put this guy pretty quickly down in lame.
Ouch.
Probably around here. Or
Rejected!
I keep remembering the categories that I've used on other videos. Yeah. No, this guy is a reject. And I failed to name him Sonic Subjugator, but it doesn't matter. He's an uncommon, and so you kind of don't expect a whole lot off of him. But making your opponents discard cards, especially just once, is really pathetic in Commander. It's honestly, it feels more rude than effective. It's like stealing money out of a beggar's plate or something. It's like, really? Really? I don't blame anyone from having a desire to steal money. I get that, but why from this guy? That's how I feel when you force someone to discard a card, and just one person, and just one time. It's not like your whole strategy.
It's not effective, it's just petty.
Yeah, and he does it when he enters, so the only way to get this ability again is to have him die and reanimate, or recast him from the command zone.
Yeah, forget
Mono
that.
black. He goes in villain synergies, but he's not even very good there, so forget it. Don't play him. Moving on to Leader, Super Genius.
That is a name.
Yeah.
That's also one hell of a forehead.
Yes.
I want to pop it with a pin.
Oh no! I wonder how good he's going to be as a leader of a commander deck.
For 2 mana and 2 blue, you get a 1/3 Gamma Scientist villain. If a creature you control would connive, instead, you draw a card, then that creature connives. At the beginning of a combat on your turn, target creature you control connives. We like conniving.
Yeah, okay, so I think I can pretty quickly place this guy once again, that he actually seems like a really good sidekick.
For conniving. He's your Starscream.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously he's failing the vanilla test, but Leader was never a physical guy, and you've seen this guy if you saw Captain America: Brave New World.
I did not.
I did, and I almost wish I did not. It is one of the worst Marvel movies in that it like had great opportunities to make like political points or philosophical points and just dodged them at
And
every
they
corner.
pulled their punch.
And also, they clearly had to rework a whole lot of things during production. There were production issues, and they spoiled the only surprise in the movie, just about in the trailers. So, totally botched it. You might have also seen this guy at the end of the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
Nope.
Nope. Okay, because
I'm not a Hulk fan.
an actor at the end of that movie gets some like Bruce Banner blood juice dropped on a wound on his forehead, and then his forehead starts to pulse green, and you're like, oh, he's gonna be the leader someday. And that was back in 2008, and then it wasn't the case until like 2024, and then it wasn't even that good. But back on the card here, whenever you connive, you get to draw an extra card and then connive. That's really cool. Triggering connive again every combat automatically built into this guy, that's really great. But you're stuck on mono blue, and this is like an engine that doesn't have like a conclusion. It isn't going anywhere, you know?
A non-deterministic combo.
Well, I don't like to throw that term around in this case because, but it is still like a kind of card advantage engine where blue is the color that's best at card advantage engines and the worst at turning them into victory. So just put him in the 99 of a like blue-black connive deck, and he'll be one of the best cards in the 99. So have fun building your blue-black villains, but don't put him in the front of it. As we move on to Loki, God of Mischief.
Oh no, he's hot.
Oh, you don't say. Let's see. Do we have any? Okay, that one's pretty charming too. If zoomed out a little bit more.
That one's also hot.
And that one where he's hanging out with Storm of all, or maybe he's fighting with Storm. Hard to tell. He's smiling, and they neither of them fight with their hands, so I'm not really clear what these gestures are doing. But regardless,
Anyway,
what does the card do?
for 1 mana and a blue, you get a 2/1 God Sorcerer villain. Whenever a player or permanent becomes the target of an ability you control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Okay, so if it wasn't for this ability triggers only once each turn, this would be more insane for Shuko than Nadu was back in the day. Because you can equip for 0, and you can equip to creatures that already have equipment on it. So you can pay the 0 to target a permanent with an ability you control and draw a card. And so, yeah, if it wasn't for that restriction, Shuko would just allow you to draw your entire deck all at once. The commander Nadu was doing something similar before it was banned.
There's something interesting going on with the flavor text.
Oh, yeah?
Foolish heroes, Loki can match you trick for trick, and then some.
Yeah.
I presume that the then is supposed to get some emphasis because it's the only word that isn't italicized. Is that intentional?
Yes, that is intentional. That would be like, and then some.
I don't know, I just think it's an odd word to italicize.
Also,
to
he's
emphasize.
clearly looking at Thor here, the hammer, the winged helmet and everything. But this is like Golden Age Thor. So that's kind of fun. So with that restriction in mind, though, what do you even do with this guy? Do you just like equip Shuko to him once every turn and draw a card? That seems like it wouldn't be worth it to like combo to draw a card. So I did a search at one point for cards you can play in blue that have 0 mana activated abilities, and you're not going to believe what I found.
What?
Okay, so let's go 0 mana symbol, and if I say instant sorcery, and then not. That should get me all the permanents, and then I think that does it. Okay.
31.
Okay, so the funny thing is, like, oh, right. It also has to say target. Also has to say target. Okay. Target.
3.
3. This one is silver bordered, so it's banned in all formats. This one gives a card flashback, so that doesn't work because it targets a card that's in your graveyard. So it's just this guy. Just this guy.
Your face! Oh my god, what's wrong with your face?
Yeah. So, anyway, what does the card do? Let's read the Oracle text on this one because the other is going to be crazy.
The Oracle text?
Yeah, the stuff in the paragraph in the center instead of the card itself.
Okay, thank you. For 0 mana, change this creature's base toughness to 1 plus the power of target creature blocking or blocked by this creature. This effect lasts indefinitely.
And it's interesting that the card says its power is 1 and its toughness is asterisk, and then the card up here says that when it comes into play, its toughness is 1. So it's kind of funny that rather than printing 1 as its toughness here, they printed it up there for some reason. And yeah, okay, so you can pay 0, and you can target a creature that it's fighting with in order to change this thing's toughness. Okay, so I think what that means is you may genuinely want to play Sentinel in a Loki deck so that anytime that someone attacks you, you can block with Sentinel and draw a card for free. No, forget it. I don't know. What you're actually going to be doing then probably is spell slinging, and you're going to be using probably stuff like Vapor Snag, which I like as just like a bounce a creature for 1 and its controller loses a life. So you're probably going to have to fight like tooth and nail here. But if you're playing with really cheap spells like this, the main thing you're worried about is running out of cards in your hand. And with Loki, you're going to keep drawing extra cards. So if you want to be an absolute dick at your game table, if you want to be the guy who's just got bounce and counter spells for days and never even runs out of them, and you're playing mono blue, all I ask is that you find a way to win the game somehow eventually. Please find a way to win the game eventually, because otherwise this act is gonna get old.
Well, he is the god of mischief, and people do get pretty satisfied by seeing him get punched around a bit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put this guy in wild card, but probably up around like here. Actually, maybe the top of wild card. I don't think that he is a great commander, in part because I think I'm gonna hate playing against him. But I think one last piece of advice on this guy, something that might help as just kind of a long shot here. EDH Rec, there's a commander named Hinata. You might need to do a deep dive on this commander Hinata, because it says spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each target, and spells your opponents cast cost 1 more for each target. So this is actually a really great commander. Loki would probably be great in the 99 because he wants you to target things, but she includes blue, so look through here somewhere for blue spells that target things, and you'll probably find things like this that you can use multiple times, target multiple things. So have a look-see. As we move on to Loki Laufey-san. Isn't Laufey or Laufey the
That's his mother.
Yeah, his mother, who is a not dark elf, a frost giant or something?
A frost giant in the Marvel canon and a regular giant in the
comics, or in mythology.
In mythology.
Okay.
I think I have to refresh my Norse mythology. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
for 1 mana and a fire, you get a 2/1 god sorcerer villain. For 1 mana and a tap, when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value less than or equal to Loki's power this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. And he has a power-up of 4 and a red. Put 2 1/1 counters on Loki.
Okay, so copying an instant or sorcery spell for just one and tap is actually pretty good. Your commander coming out at just 2 mana is actually really good. Starting off as a 2/1 when it cares about their power, it's like not a bad starting point. You can copy lightning bolts and all kinds of other like 1 and 2 mana spells. The biggest problem this card's going to run into is the problem that all monocolor commanders do, that you're stuck just playing red spells.
Limited options.
Yeah. However, I think that this is pretty good for an uncommon. The power up ability isn't great, but it's not terrible. It's definitely the kind of thing that you could do late game. You're like, wow, I never expected Loki to stay on the battlefield until I got 5 red. I guess I will do it, and now he can, copy bigger spells. But I think also you want to put in a few ways of increasing his power, and while he's got this instant and sorcery theme, so I could once again show the card Brute Force that gives him +3/+3. That's just until end of turn. So I think instead I gotta show you one of the other favorite cards that I keep on referring back to, and that's the Ring of Cycle. But I'm gonna go with Valkus this time.
The
Wanna
ring
read that
cycle.
for
How
us?
about that?
Oh yeah, rings are circles. So.
Would you believe me if I told you that that Wagner's ring cycle, that the story that tells actually directly ties to to Loki?
Well, what do you know?
I am not even kidding. It all starts with the cursed ring, and that's basically all you need to know.
Okay. Well,
For
this
two,
card.
For 2 mana, you get an equipment. The equipped creature has haste.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 counter on equipped creature if it's red.
Yeah. So I think you actually want to play, like, I don't know, 6 equipment in this deck that can increase Loki's power so that you can copy bigger things consistently. Maybe more than 6?
Actually, now that I think of it, I may be conflating the ring cycle with the saga of the Volsungs.
Oh, maybe.
Damn me for pretending to know more than I actually do.
Tenza Godo's Maul is another equipment that gives +1/+1, but if the creature's legendary, it gets an additional +2/+2, and if it's red, it gains trample. So Loki would get +3/+3 and trample from that. Neat. So keep an eye out for, and maybe even a few auras that you can put on him to make him bigger, and then you can build kind of a red spell slingy deck. I'm gonna say that puts him probably in the middle of the wild cards, maybe a little lower down, maybe around here. But as long as you're satisfied with copying red spells, it's pretty cool.
I like how he's looking at us like, shh, I'm in Dad's chair.
Yeah.
I'm in Odin's chair. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
And while we're on the subject, I'm pretty sure that Laufey... Actually, I may have gotten a lot wrong about the mythology stuff. I just spouted about Loki. Sorry.
Hey, don't worry about it. We are spreaders of misinformation on purpose. What? Wait, is there someone wrong on the internet and it's us this time?
No!
Oh
Never!
no. Okay, hopefully I'm
We should
not
at the
going to
very
be...
least try not to be wrong.
Hopefully I'm not going to be
We
wrong
should try to
too
be
often.
not wrong.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not going to be wrong too often about these cards. I may be off a bit on a few of them, but Luke Cage, Power Man.
All right, for 3 mana and a white, you get a 2/5 human hero with Unbreakable Skin. Whenever Luke Cage attacks alone, he gets +2/+0 and gains indestructible until end of turn.
Okay, so it's a flavor win for Luke Cage to have indestructible. It's a flavor fail for him to not have it all the time. For him to be like, when I'm attacking by myself, which, by the way, Luke Cage is kind of the opposite of a solo player. He does frequently make friends and go on missions with them because he is very strong, and yeah, he's got unbreakable skin. Bullets shrug off of him. I mean, you can't really harm him. He's like Superman if you narrowed it down to like 2 powers. So quite good, but not necessarily the card. 4 mana for a 2/5 is pretty lame. Sure, he's gonna be a 4/5 when he attacks alone, but like attacking alone is kind of a bad strategy. It's like telling you to like just waste resources. It's telling you to like hold back in order to get a buff. there is a theme in this set of white cards for some reason that care about creatures attacking alone, but they pretty much all suck. None of them, even this guy, is worth the benefit of attacking with a creature alone. So I'm actually gonna put him down in reject, but I'm gonna put him right next to Jessica Jones because they like each other. And we are finally done with the first 60, the first page. As we go on to the next 60, and there's another 60 after that. So that means we basically just hit the, we're almost at the halfway mark.
Almost.
Almost.
Ah.
Okay, Madame Hydra, she's fine. Moving on. No. What does she do?
For 2 mana, a black and a red, you get a 2/3 human villain. Whenever you cast a villain spell, create a 2/1 black villain creature token with menace.
Okay, that is exactly the kind of thing that you want to see in your Kindred deck, where when you do the thing, you get more of the thing. Great.
What do these villains look like? What's the token look like?
Oh. It's like the usual suspects or something. You've got the hand on the right, and
got
then
the Hydra agent.
and then Ame, and then I think that's the Magia, like Mafia. It's the Magia. Yeah.
That's actually kind of cute.
So that's pretty cool, and there's other versions of Madame Hydra. She looks like
Woo!
that, or that's the same thing, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so this is a great ability, but this creature is underwhelming. As a 4-mana 2/3, we're failing the vanilla test hard, and when she doesn't have anything like menace or like gaining some life or something, I think she is going to be a great sidekick in a villain deck. I think she's going to go right next to Crossbones and Baron Strucker. All three of these are great sidekicks in a villain deck, but none of them are the main. The main could be Ares, it could be, I don't know, one from the commander deck maybe, but yeah, she's an uncommon, she was never going to be that powerful. And then the other Madame, oh, that was one of Madame Mask's henchmen that was there.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was the Magia, or maybe she's the leader of the Magia or something? I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Anyway, Madame Mask, what does she do?
For 4 mana and a black, you get a 3/2 human villain. When Madame Mask enters, she connives.
Cool.
And whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/1 black villain creature token with menace.
So, if you rewind the clock back about a minute and just replay everything that I said about the previous Madame, you'll basically get what I think about this one. The mana cost is too high for the power and toughness. Conniving is neat, but doesn't make up the difference. Drawing your second card each turn, making you villains, is great. In the 99, you don't want a mono-black commander that does this. So I am actually going to put Madame Mask right next to Madame Hydra. I think she's slightly worse because she costs slightly more mana, and the hoop you have to jump through is a little bit more difficult. And she has less toughness, which, as a creature that's going to sit on the battlefield just generating you advantage, you want a little more toughness than power. She doesn't need to fight.
Maybe the two of them can have brunch.
Oh, yeah. They better hang out. Even though they represent different, like, groups or whatever, they should meet up. They'd be fast friends? I don't know. Villains tend to not be very nice people. But next we have Mr. Fantastic Reed Richards.
For 3 mana and a blue, you get a 2/4 human scientist hero with reach. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, you may draw a card. Get them tokens, draw them cards.
Yeah,
Not a win condition.
So 4 mana for a 2/4 is on rate with... In fact, he's got the stats of a giant spider. Literally.
Hi, Spooter.
The card Giant Spider, who, by the way, has kind of a jumping spider face, so it's actually a little cute.
Trigger warning, arachnophobia.
Oh, yeah, even though it's like eating a drake or something up here. But yeah, 4 mana for a 2/4 with reach. 4 mana for a 2/4 with reach. Wow.
I'd still like to make a spider deck.
Oh, we can work on that sometime. It's possible. Even good. Whenever one or more tokens you control enter, you may draw a card. That could be cool. I think that... okay, I'm kind of burying the lead here. He's gonna go in wild card, and probably around like here. And here's the real reason why. The uncommon Fantastic Four cards, if you control all four of them, go infinite.
What?
Yeah, that this one says when you make a token, you draw a card. Another one says when you draw a card, you deal damage. Another one says when you deal damage, you put counters. And the last one says when you put counters, you create a token. So if you have all four of them, they make a big cycle where you can draw infinite cards, do infinite damage, make a creature infinitely big, and make infinite walls.
Ding, 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 ding,
And then you
ding.
win the game. But you have to control all four of them. So when I've said in the past that wild card means that it's good if you get some help. He needs a lot of help in order to be like good. And of course, you can't like have them all four be partners or something like that. And you can't even put them all in the same deck with one of them being your commander and the other three in the 99 or something. No. But if you're playing one of the Fantastic Four Precon commanders or something, you could put all four of them in the 99, try to find them. So, yeah, good luck. But that's where he belongs. As we move on to Mr. Hyde, Monster Within.
For 2 mana and a green, you get a 2/2 human villain. At the beginning of your upkeep, pick one. You can either put a 1/1 counter on Mr. Hyde, or you can remove a counter from a creature you control, and if you do, you draw a card.
Now this is interesting. So that means that by the time that you actually go to combat for the first time with this guy, he's a 3/3 and he just gets bigger. And removing a counter from a creature to draw a card repeatedly in mono green isn't terrible, just that it's at a pretty slow rate. And there's some cards that will have negative counters on them of some kind, and removing them can be pretty sweet. But he's kind of sauceless, you know.
Just like his design.
Yeah, I mean this is a hamburger that is like two buns and a patty, and you're lucky if you have cheese. Like there's no ketchup, there's no mustard, there's no mayo, there's no barbecue sauce, there's no nothing. So, you know, he gets big, he pulls things away. Okay, does that make him...
this design is kind of lame. And this design is kind of lame, and this kind of concept for a character is, well, extremely cliche. Come on.
Yeah.
You hear his name and you hear pretty much everything there is to know about him, and it doesn't even look like we're taking that to an interesting place like we do with, say, the Hulk.
Now, how does he do as a sidekick in the 99? I think there may be a deck out there that is green and some other color that involves a creature entering with like some bad counters on it that you want to remove, and he could help with that. If you can find a commander like that... Oh! Arixmethes? Oh boy, I'm not going to spell this right.
Arixmet.
Arixmethes, Slumbering Isle. You want to read that one for us?
For 2 mana, a green, and a blue, you get a 12/12 Kraken.
Yeah.
Arixmethes' Slumbering Isle enters tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. And as long as Arixmethes has a slumber counter on it, it's a land, not a creature. Mm-hmm. And whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from Arixmethes.
So this guy only
Nightmare Countdown.
This guy only has 5 slumber counters on him, and when you cast a spell, you remove one. So do you need Mr. Hyde? Not really.
But he'll help!
He will help. Is he good in this deck? I don't know. Maybe not. But maybe he's still not good enough. But I think I want to put him near the bottom of sidekicks, like right around here.
I'd put him higher. He does help with card draw.
Well, but there are so few decks that I think that would be worth putting him in. You know? Like, Arixmethes is one of the strongest ones that I could think of like, oh yeah, this includes green, and the payoff for removing the counters is you get a 12/12, like, land well, no, 12/12 that taps for 2 mana, but even then, when you cast him, he'll remove a counter. When you cast anything, you'll remove a counter. Cast 5 just spells. You remove all the counters and bam, you swing with a 12/12. Mr. Hyde is such a small part of that. So yeah. I don't think he deserves to be any higher than that, unfortunately. As we move on to Misty Knight, Hero for Hire.
Wow, her name does not, and her design do not match.
You don't think so?
No.
Well, Heroes for Hire was a superhero team of mercenaries that included Iron Fist and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, as they're all like working class superheroes, where they're like, call this 1-800 number and book us today to come, like, beat up that asshole that's giving you a hard time, or
The
whatever.
hero for hire part does, the Misty Knight part does not.
That's just her name. She's not the Misty Knight. Her first name is Misty. Her last name is Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
could have fooled me.
Yeah.
All right, for 1 mana and a red, you get a 3/1 human detective hero. For 2 mana and a tap, and discarding a card, you draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. I said card like 3 times in that sentence, and that bugs me.
If you discard a card, you draw a card for each card you've carded this turn. Don't forget to card them on the way in and on the way out. So here's the thing, is that, like, this card is terrible, and, like, this is not that great. But for each card you've discarded this turn can go wild. Alright? Mono red commander is still kind of tough, but pyromancer. Oh, right. It's gonna come. There's a lot of pyromancers in Magic.
Fire!
What am I thinking of? Path of the Pyromancer. Discard all the cards in your hand. Add a red for each card discarded this way. Then draw that many cards +1. In her deck, she's gonna draw you a hand that's double sized after doing that. And there's also Pyromancer's Suave. At the beginning of each end step, discard your hand. And then with her, you draw your whole hand back again, and you get to keep the benefit of adding 2 damage to all your burn spells. There's a lot of red cards where you discard for some kind of effect, and then she fills your hand back up. I think she's actually pretty great, and I'm torn. Okay, I think she probably goes here, top of the wild cards. Built in, she's and she's still held back a little bit by being mono red and not like red black or red blue or something. But the payoff with a little setup could be huge. Red card draw engine that works. Don't forget to put in some madness and mayhem so that you can cast some of the things as she's discarding them. So, we'll move on to Mockingbird, Ace Agent.
Oh man, I read that as Ice Agent for a moment. Anyway, for 3 mana and a white, you get a 2/2 human spy hero with double strike. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, put a 1/1 counter on Mockingbird.
Okay, well, double strike is a pretty good one to have on a commander. Getting +1/+1 counters on your commander is also a pretty good one to have on a commander. 4 mana to start off as a 2/2 and having no defensive ability gives a little trouble, but casting a spell that targets any creature you control is not that bad. Okay, am I remembering that in Secrets of Strixhaven there's a mechanic called, like, repartee? Let me see. Repartee? Is that how you spell it?
Yep.
Yeah. And it exists in, like, white and stuff, so whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So that's a very similar ability with a lot of overlap to Mockingbird. So you can play at least the white repartee ability cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's a few. And another one that is similar is Heroic. So if I go Heroic in white... Yeah, whenever you cast a spell that targets this guy, you do a thing. And there's a bunch of them. There's 15 of them, and some of them are clearly way better than others. Oh, right, because aura spells count for Heroic. Do aura spells count for her? Yes! Okay. So I'm going to say that she actually is a wild card and a pretty good one. I think I'm going to put her right up here. Especially if you have some kind of instant. I think the last thing I'm going to do is like a, let's see, target creature gets plus something that's in white and an instant. What is the best you can do in Commander? For target creature gets plus at instant speed. Blacksmith skill? Well, it gains hexproof and indestructible until turn if it's an artifact creature gets bigger. No. Okay, something like this. 1 mana giving her +2/+2 at instant speed, and you can gift a food to someone to give her indestructible.
Is that bat attacking that wolf with a giant biscotti?
Yes! Excuse me. That was a microphone warning. But I thought...
That's a baguette, actually.
From a distance, I was like, oh, it's probably some magical energy that's just kind of orangish. But, like, gift of food.
Yep, that is literally a baguette.
Yeah. Crumb and get it.
They weren't kidding.
Okay, please play Crumb and Get It in your Mockingbird deck.
Feed the birds.
And you attack someone, and they're like, I guess I'll take it. And you're like, in response, Crumb and Get It. And then she'll get +1/+1 counter, and +2/+2, and indestructible. She'll hit them for, like, what, 6? No. 6 twice. No, 5. My math is not mathing today. 2 + 1 is 3, plus another 2 is 5, and then the double strike is ×2, so 10. You're dealing 10 commander damage off of a 1 mana common targeting your uncommon commander. And it also has, like, you have done other things in the game, presumably. These are just some strong plays that you can make with a surprising uncommon. And you definitely have all the tools in mono white you need. You don't need another color for that. Okay, I'm bordering on wanting to put her in, like, exciting, in my hero. Only reason why I'm not is I've already got a green deck that plays some pump spells that my commander has double strike, and it's sick. As we move on to MODOK, have you ever...
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Humpty Dumpty had a great chair that flies with, like, jets.
And Humpty Dumpty really needs to get a facial done. And also see the dentist.
MODOK, by the way, played in a Avengers cartoon by Patton Oswalt. So imagine his voice coming out of that face.
I'm trying.
All right, well, what does he do?
For 3 mana and 2 black, you get a 2/2 villain. With flying and lifelink. And his ability is Mental Organism. Pay 3 life, MODOK connives. Activate only during your turn. His other ability is designed only for killing, MODOK. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-1.
That's all the time, baby. That's all the time.
That's a passive ability.
Was your opponent playing elves, squirrels? Were they playing goblins?
Not anymore.
Were they playing rabbits? Oh, that's a shame. Their deck kind of just doesn't even work anymore as long as your commander's out. Although, here's the problem that I see with this commander is when you say, okay, I'm playing MODOK, your opponent who's playing the elf deck is like, ah! And they're like, well, then I should switch decks. And you're like, well, I didn't pick mine because you picked yours, so why are you picking yours because I picked mine? That's the honest biggest problem that I see with this commander. If not for that, as long as you, I think what you need to do, if you're MODOK, if you're the MODOK player, you are a villain, right? But you don't. What's the best metagame advice that we have for playing commander?
Build the kind of deck you wouldn't mind losing to.
And the real meta is...
the real meta is getting people to keep playing with you.
Yes. So keep that in mind.
Ask
that
for
your number one goal is not necessarily to win. You do want to win games of Magic, but you want to make sure that you'll continue to have people that you can play with.
Remember to ask consent before playing a mental organism designed only for killing.
Yeah. So that means that you're probably not going to be playing this against the elf deck. You're probably not going to be playing this against the squirrel deck. Unless the scroll deck is like, I think I can beat you anyway. And it's like,
Don't say I didn't warn you.
okay, okay. Now, if you are not going up against decks that are specifically vulnerable to you, this ability is crazy. Pay 3 life Modok connives. So that, I mean, you can imagine that as being a worse version of Necropotence. Necropotence, where blah blah blah, pay 1 life, blah blah blah, put a card into your hand. That's what matters, okay? There's other words on this card, but the reason why this card is like all kinds of colors of banned and restricted in different formats and a game changer and like $40 and stuff like that, because effectively you pay 1 life and you put a card in your hand. Now, this guy, you pay 3 life and you draw a card and discard a card. And yet it's very similar. You can find your combo piece, you can trigger draw effects over and over again, you can trigger discard effects over and over again. Every time that you discard a non-land card, he gets bigger. He's got flying and lifelink, so when you attack with him, you very likely hit someone, and when you do, you very likely gain back a third of the life that you lost so that you can set it up again.
Yeah.
This guy is crazy. Here's the problem, though. Well, okay. With other creatures, when they enter the battlefield, ideally you get your value out of them right then. Like, Ravenous Chupacabra is good because it enters and it kills a thing. Then, even if they get rid of the Ravenous Chupacabra, who cares? You killed a thing. So Modok, when he enters, you can immediately pay 3 life, like 10 times, and cycle through 10 cards, and then he becomes this gigantic, probably, flying lifelink creature, and he kills your opponent's 1 toughness, all that stuff. Great. Then your opponent plays like a bounce spell or something that kills it, anything like that. And then you've lost 30 life. Your opponent's creatures are not shrunk anymore. To replay him costs 5 mana, and people don't want to see it again, so they're like, better attack him before you recast Modok. And then you die. And you never got to gain the life. You never got to hit for flying. And you almost killed yourself in the process. So maybe you don't do that. Maybe you play him and then you wait, because you can activate only during your turn, but not at sorcery speed. It can be instant speed. So you can attack someone, and then in response to them not blocking or whatever, you can pay 30 life, connive 10 times, and make him huge, and then gain a bunch of life back.
So he's a bit of a glass cannon.
Except then they had a whole turn where if they killed him, you got no benefit off of it because you can't activate during your opponent's turn. So I'm sorry, I have a lot to say about this guy, in part because
You're excited.
I'm genuinely excited. This guy is so wacky and wild to me, where he vacillates wildly between being busted and being a joke. And that's exactly what Modok is flavorfully. He is a joke sometimes, but other times he will make you pay for laughing at him. And I will puzzle this out. I'm going to spend some time on my own figuring this guy out. Maybe I can make
What
a
does
deck
his
with him.
alternate art look like?
Oh, good question. Nope.
Oh.
It's just more of him. More of that. But no reminder text? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I actually really want this card, and I want to foil one, and it's $20. Probably because a lot of people imagine all the upsides that I said and forget about the downsides. Oh, okay, there is one last thing I have to mention with this guy, because everybody talking about him is talking about how he combos with Maha, Its Feathers Knight, if you could read.
For 3 mana and 2 black, you get a 6/5 elemental bird with flying and trample, and also ward, discard a card. Creatures your opponents control have base toughness 1.
So yeah, Modok combos with Maha, Its Feathers Knight
Oh, that
to
is so
just
mean.
have your opponents, all of their creatures, no matter how big, all of them die. It gets around Indestructible. It gets around protection from black. It gets around Shroud, Hexproof, Ward. It kills the ones that are on the battlefield now, and it kills all the future ones that they could play. The only way to get a creature on the battlefield ever again with Modok and Maha on the battlefield is to have Modok and Maha not on the battlefield anymore. And if you want to get Maha gone, you have to discard a card if you want to target it. It's brutal.
Turn it into a beetle.
It's Yeah. It's one card in your deck, but MODOK is going to be good at finding it.
Yep.
Not to mention that black is the color of tutors. So, like, whoo boy, I'm not sure what bracket this is going to be in. Maybe 4.
I'm assuming 4.
Probably 4. Finally, I am out of breath for this guy. That freak. We go on to another creepy little freak. Mole Man, the Moloid Master.
I say he's got himself a pair of Oakleys.
Oh, he reminds me of Bebop and Rocksteady, actually, with those glasses.
Alright, for 2 mana and a green, you get a 1/1 human villain. You may play lands from your graveyard.
Ooh.
And he's a landfall guy. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 1/1 green minion creature token named Moloid, with whenever this token attacks, you may mill a card.
So first off, I believe those glasses actually are intended to limit the amount of light that enters his eyes so that when he takes a rare trip up to the surface world, he doesn't get blinded by the sun.
Yeah, I know. I figured as much.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. That he's got this kind of like rad / dorky visual element to him that makes some sense. Oh, Moloids, they're actually a little cute in this art.
He looks like a little homunculus.
Yeah, not so much in this art where they're like, ugh, I don't know.
Drifting into Morlock territory, guys.
Also, what's that thing?
A giant mole?
What's he? Maybe. Okay, so I said before that, like, landfall commanders have a lot of competition, right? But you may play lands from your graveyard is a fairly rare effect. We've got a few cards that do it now. Crucible of Worlds, Conduit of Worlds, Ramanop Excavator, but he is competitive for all of those. Like, Crucible of Worlds and Ramanop Excavator both cost 3 mana, and so does he, allowing you to play lands from your graveyard. And unlike those other two, he has a built-in benefit to playing those lands of getting these minions. These Moloid minions, by the way, milling you to fill your graveyard with more lands that you can replay. This is all kind of good.
Yeah.
He's still stuck in mono green, and but you know what? I think okay, he could be a really good sidekick in the 99 of some other decks. He could even be a wild card, but no, I'm going to put him all the way up in Super.
Woo!
Yeah, because what are you going to do with this deck? I mean, they're
Mill
actually...
stuff.
Yeah, you're just going to be playing lands that go to the graveyard and come back, and you do want to be playing cards that let you play extra lands every turn. Like Azusa, like Explore... explore, you can just play an additional land, or exploration, you can play an additional land on each turn. This is a good deck for burgeoning for once, finally, I think. Burgeoning. Whenever an opponent plays a land, you can play a land.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Oh, that would be nasty. Do it.
This card often leads to starts where you go turn 1, Forest Burgeoning, your opponents each play a land, and you play 3 more lands. And then Burgeoning does nothing for the rest of the game, because you ran out of lands in your hand. And Mole Man, I mean, you may still run out of lands in your hand, but you're playing lands from your graveyard, taking up your actual land drop. So then any lands in your hand, Burgeoning can play. So, yeah, actually, I think this guy's pretty solid. And you can win with making a whole bunch of Moloids or something. So, sure, I like him. As we move on to Monica Rambeau. Not pronounced Rambo, but Rambeau. It's French. It's or like Cajun. It's not like the wilderness man from Vietnam.
For 2 mana and a white, you get a 3/3 human hero with flying and prowess, and that's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets 1/1 until end of turn. And for 2 mana, a red and 2 white, you can transform Monica Rambeau.
I'm just going to say right off the bat, by the way, we're passing the vanilla test with flying colors, and you only have to spend white mana to cast her, but she has got red in the color identity, so she's got 2 colors. Monica Rambeau is already a pretty sick commander. Then she becomes motherfucking Photon Living Light.
A 4/4 elemental hero with flying, hexproof, and prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control.
So suddenly she has more friends and helps them. I really like this with cards that are non-creature spells but make creature tokens. Um, I mean, honestly, this just seems pretty sick. I don't think that I actually need to get too deep into it. I think that you can use your imagination, and it's kind of hard to go wrong, especially with this side. This side's more efficient, I would say. This side, if you're paying, 5 mana, but hexproof, hexproof. I think that this is a commander that you can play if you're dumb. Uh, and
Wow, that's a backhanded compliment.
yes, yes. So if you're dumb, you can just play things and have it get big, and then when you've got the mana to flipper, now you don't have to worry about people getting rid of your commander hardly ever, and you can just play some more dumb stuff. You can have like zero strategy. This can be a pre-release special. That's what I call it when someone opens a cool card at the pre-release and then they just throw the random jank that they got at the pre-release into the 99 and then they play it, and those decks usually are pathetic and suck shit. Sorry for cursing so much, but honestly, if she's the one that you pull, I think you can't go wrong. So I'm gonna put her in super.
Noted, since we are planning on going to an event this week.
Yeah, we're looking at finally doing a pre-release. I think she probably goes actually around here. You don't have to have a strategy, but if you have a strategy, it's a little bit better. So, we'll move on to Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Cute.
Yeah! I love dinosaurs. If you don't know that, you don't know my lore.
For 1 mana, a green and a blue, you get a 2/2 human dinosaur hero. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, until the end of turn, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur's base power and toughness become 6/6 and they gain trample.
Whee!
Whenever an artifact you control enters, draw a card, and this ability triggers only once each turn.
Honestly, this seems sick. And it's goofy too. I kind of love it. Like, what's the alternate art on this? Is this extended? It's just extended. But actually, that's pretty great too, because then you've got like a little bit more of the reaction on the street and the green light and she's not going the wrong way on a runway on a one way, is she? Wrong way on a one way. No, she's not.
No, the one way is the cross street.
Okay, is that a boxing glove?
It is a boxing glove.
And she's got rollerblades. That's sick. Her dinosaur is red. It's not.
I love
a
her
devil.
little buns.
Yeah. And she's got little glasses, and she's like, wee!
This is interesting because I've read a bunch of the comics from the 80s, and Devil Dinosaur is a mutant from the ancient past.
Wow.
And he was hanging out with this caveman who's also, I think, a mutant, and his name is Moon Boy. So I don't know where Moon Boy went, and I'm not sure where Moon Girl comes from. See?
Guess what? Moon Boy is a thing, and he's in this set, and he rides the Devil Dinosaur as well. But I think this is like bringing back Devil Dinosaur because her comic, I believe, is relatively new, and she's supposed to be like the smartest girl in the Marvel universe. And I think she like invented time travel, something like that.
So that's how she found Devil.
Also, she is a Mickey Mouse logo.
Yeah, she is. She's very cute.
Yeah. So in Simic, this is strangely a Simic artifact deck. Not many of those, because her whole first thing about like becoming a 6/6 with Trampler, you can consistently do that every turn by just playing an artifact on your turn because you already drew a card this turn. So this is a blue-green artifact deck where you can sometimes drop your commander and just start beating down with a 6/6 Trampler, and if they die because you had a whole solid strategy of playing blue-green artifacts regardless of the commander. Blue-green artifacts isn't supported a lot, but I'm sure that you can do some powerful stuff with it. So I think she's great. I'm going to put her up in super, maybe at the bottom of super, but still. Blue-green artifacts isn't really a supported archetype, but it's also not hard to make it work. Because you can do artifacts in colorless, so adding blue and green is just a little bit better.
I wonder if Devil Dinosaur and Daredevil are related. That'd be funny. I doubt they are, but it'd be funny.
Strangely, both of them have devil in their name, and neither of them have devil in their creature type.
And they're both very red.
Yes. Moonstone, Harsh Mistress. Mommy? Anyway, what does she do?
For 3 mana and a black, you get a 2/4 human doctor villain with flying.
Doctor, you say? So she's
So she's intelligent.
educated and career. She has a good career.
Whenever you discard a card, you may exile that card from your graveyard. If you do, until the end of your next turn, you may play that card.
Could I ask you a huge favor real quick?
What?
Can you read the flavor text of that?
Fine. Should I use a voice or not?
Yeah.
Let me show you the dark side of the moon.
Clip it. All right. So anyway, as a magic card, 4 mana 2/4 flyer is failing the vanilla test, and flying doesn't make up for it by itself. And she only does anything else if you discard a card. But what she does is allow you to play that card again. So that's actually kind of like giving all of your cards mayhem. And if only black in this set had a mechanic for discarding cards regularly. Maybe something related to villains? Oh yeah, it turns out that my roommate is home, so you might hear some noises in the background. Forgive us. But yeah, there's a whole archetype of conniving in black where you can be discarding cards for benefit and then play those cards over again. They don't have finality counters or anything, so I think that she's actually a prime candidate for wild card, and a pretty good one. Maybe up around, maybe around here? Yeah, probably around here. Because on her own, she's pretty bad. But if you are playing her with a bunch of other black cards that care about conniving, then she's pretty great. So, yeah. Do some brainstorming and you can get... wait, why has she got... These are... Wait, they're slightly different. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Why are they slightly different? The text shifts.
It looks like the text might be a slightly different size in each one.
Why? Like on the
No, wait,
middle
it's the
line
spacing
there,
that's
the
different.
word if is on the second line of that paragraph, and then it's on the third line of that paragraph. Except why? Wait. MSH in the bottom left corner has a star in it, which means that this is a foil. So, and it's number 447. So what I'm thinking here is this is a card that is printed in different products with and without foil.
Huh.
But then I still don't see why they changed the font size in the main text. They usually don't do that. Anyway, moving on to Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan, a character I think you will enjoy her show because it's fun.
All right, for 2 mana and a blue, you get a 1/4 mutant inhuman hero with vigilance and reach. You have no maximum hand size. and her ability is Embiggen Fist.
Mm-hmm.
It annoys me that that's a word. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. Until end of turn, Ms. Marvel gains Ms. Marvel's base power is equal to the number of cards in your hand.
So literally, you have no maximum size to how big your hand can get, and then her power becomes how big your hand is, and she makes your hands bigger.
Draw all the cards.
This is hilarious and functionally quite effective, given that she has both vigilance and reach. If you give her like a whole bunch of power and swing, with vigilance, you can still keep her up as a blocker, and she can block seagulls and the shocker. I think that's the shocker flying by.
I'm pretty sure that's the shocker.
Yeah, shocker. This one. Yeah, that guy, because he's got the insulation on his suit.
I like how his flavor text is mock him at your peril because,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, the shocker. Yeah, give him the shocker. Well, oh, and does she have an extent? Whoa! Okay. I think I might actually prefer this one personally.
Yeah, this one's cuter.
Yeah. I like that she's a Muslim superhero in canon.
Yeah, we don't see enough of that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's just a lot of fun. Wait, is that? I thought that was a cookie. Is that a coin? Wait a second. I think that's the Captain Marvel logo. Anyway, this card seems great. I might even. Okay, I don't know that I personally would enjoy building a mono blue deck that does this, but I wouldn't blame you if you did. This is still pretty cool. So I'm gonna put her up, actually, at the top of Super. Come on, get up there. Get up. Okay, Bruce, go down. There you go. You know what? No, I'm giving it to her. All right, because what puts it over the top is the joke of making your hands big. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we do love humor around
yeah,
here.
that is the secret sauce, as it turns out. As we go into Namor, the Submariner, who's one of the first cards that was spoiled for this set.
All right. Sorry.
Because he's a sub?
No, actually.
It implies the existence of a Dom Mariner.
No, I just can't get over the manties. The manties. The manties.
The manties, okay. Gotcha. He's got his nipples all out there. All right.
That's not what I give up.
Okay. Oh! Yeah, the Speedo?
Yeah, I'm
all
just
right.
being mean by calling it the manties.
Okay. Anyway, what does the magic card do?
See, now you're giggling.
Yeah.
For 1 mana and 2 blue, you get a star 4 mutant merfolk villain with flying. Namor's power is equal to the number of merfolk you control. We want them merfolk kindred.
Yeah.
Whenever you cast a non-creature spell with 1 or more blue mana symbols in its mana cost, create that many 1/1 blue merfolk creature tokens. Oh! If you don't got them, we'll make them.
You know what? I am not the biggest fan of mono blue. I say, before I put another mono blue commander, probably here. Because I tell you what, the thing that I like most about a deck that is blue is if you can be like, I'm going to do some bullshit, but I'm also going to make some creatures that I can eventually kill you with along the way. So this is a blue commander with a plan for how he's going to end the goddamn game. And that's so important when you're playing mono blue.
His eyebrows make him look like Spock.
Yes. He is a very old character. He's, I believe, one of the first superheroes in Marvel from before they were even, like, called Marvel, I think.
I don't know exactly how deep his history goes.
It goes back to, like, the 30s or something.
Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
That's what we're talking about. Yeah, so that's the original Namor art kind of thing. Oh, the Thing fought him, and Reed. Oh, I remember. He was one of the first villains to face off against the Fantastic Four, in part because he got a crush on Sue Storm and wanted to marry her. And Reed Richards is like, she's already married. And he's like, I don't care.
And Sue's like, maybe I should trade up.
I mean, for the most part, she was treated as like a damsel in distress in these storylines. But in more recent years, they have brought back those storylines as being like, actually, he has many fine qualities. I'm just saying.
And Reed Richards is kind of a dick.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, both of these men have very many fine qualities as far as, like, the female gaze is concerned. Considering what Mr. Fantastic can do with his stretchy powers especially.
Tempting,
use your imagination.
But Mr. Fantastic always gives patriarch vibes to me, which it makes me hesitate.
Yeah, I mean, both of these guys have some, like, toxic masculinity stuff going on, right? So Sue Storm's got to make some tough choices. But back on it, the commander has flying. The commander gets large for the number of merfolk you control. You don't need to go outside mono blue to get a lot of merfolk, and he builds them in. Not to mention, he's doing the devotion to blue thing. For how blue the spells are, you get more merfolk. I love that. This guy's so cool.
Blue, dabba dee dabba die.
Ah! Sorry. Moving on to Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
For one white mana, you get a 2/1 human spy hero with a power-up of White, blue, black, red, green. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on Nick Fury, then look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a hero, equipment, or vehicle card from among them onto the battlefield. If it's a double-faced card, you may transform it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Okay, so
Wooberg!
I have heard people refer to commanders like this as 5-color slop because this is your generic. This set is based around heroes and has heroes in all 5 colors. So if you can't make a decision on what heroes you want to put in your deck, you can have Nick Fury be the commander and you can put all the heroes in there and build the most ramshackle deck that you've ever seen, and it'll kind of work because of Nick Fury. And that's pretty much true. I hopefully you can't make a deck that's terribly good with Nick Fury. Because he kind of reminds me.
He's just
of,
powering through that vanilla test, though.
Sisay, yeah. He reminds me a lot of Captain Sisay, which was one of the earliest examples of that, in that she's a white commander who has Wooburg on her, so she's all 5 colors in terms of color identity for deck building. And she cares about legendary permanents and their colors and gets bigger, and she can go find you those. So it very similar, right? So if he comes out on freaking turn 1,
And he says, "Let's go."
yeah.
He hits the ground. He hits the ground running.
Or I think you may actually be preserving this guy for doing the full power up once you've assembled Wooburg and kind of thing. Okay. This guy's not super, because if he didn't have a lot of support, he'd be straight up trash. But he does have a lot of support. So I think I got to put him in wild card. Maybe around like here. In part because I imagine that like 80-90% of the Nick Fury decks you're going to see are basically the pre-release special. I threw all my heroes into the 99, and then how do you upgrade it from there? I don't even know. 5 colors, what do you even do? What do you establish as your theme? I don't know. I have a hard time imagining a really good Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. deck.
You want to do one more before we break for lunch?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm getting hungry. Let's do Night Nurse, Healer of Heroes.
I see she's got Daredevil in the background there.
Yeah, she is the one. She's cast a little differently in the TV show, so she may look a little different, but that's supposed to be the same character.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
For 1 mana and a white, you get a 2/1 human doctor hero with flash and lifelink. When Night Nurse enters, choose target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from anywhere this turn. Return it to your hand.
Okay, does that earn her the bottom of Sidekick or the top of Reject? That is a tough one. Unfortunately, that has been her role in the comics a lot of the time. In the Daredevil TV show, she's great. But in the comics, she's more often like, oh, that's right. She can like help someone who's on the brink of death recover eventually. But they go back to your hand, so it's not like you're cheating mana costs. 2/1 with lifelink is not durable. She's gonna get you at most 2 life. Having flash is neat. And being able to save a creature after it's died instead of having to do it before or something is kind of okay.
And it doesn't have to be on your turn.
Yeah. You can, you can play it on opponent's turns, of course.
Opponent takes out your best card and you go, not so fast!
I think I'm going to be generous here and put her at the bottom of Sidekicks. Because I think if you're playing a hero deck where, like, whenever you play a hero, do a thing, and then she's the one hero that you can play at instant speed for 2 mana to trigger your thing, that could still be useful. She might make it into a deck that says whenever you cast a hero, do something. So I'll give her that. Let's see. Actually, can we finish off this row? I hate to extend it just a little bit more. I want to finish with Okoye so that we start on another line.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okoye Dora Milaje Leader is a card that you'll read.
For 3 mana and a white, you get a 3/2 human warrior hero. When Okoye enters, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Attacking creature tokens you control have first strike.
Interesting. Interesting.
No, my king, we did not kill them. There were, however, many injuries.
Well, I gotta say, she's actually someone who is quick to judge here. I think that she's a okay-ish sidekick. If you're playing a soldier's deck, well, she's not a soldier, she's a warrior. Actually, I think I need to knock her down a few more notches because there's no synergy between warrior, hero, soldier, and she doesn't care if there's any synergy. She just gives attacking creatures you control first strike. But I imagine that there are some go wide decks where you want your creature tokens to all have first strike for some good reason, and she'll fill that role. So she absolutely goes in sidekick, though I think I'm going to knock her down a couple more notches, maybe around there. And that, I think, is a good stopping point. We'll pick up next time after the O's, and we'll see how many parts are left of this thing.
Remember, R's and S's tend to get overrepresented in alphabetized sets.
True. And
T's too.
And other than that, please, I never ask you guys to like and subscribe because I figure you're on YouTube. You've heard it a million times. You probably know. But please do. I'm putting in so many hours, and Ame in particular is putting in so many hours. She's being so gracious working with me on all this. And we are not getting paid. We are doing this for free out of the kindness of our hearts. So we hope that you enjoy hearing us ramble and rattle. And maybe someday this will make money, but who knows. For the meantime, I hope that you guys enjoy it. I do enjoy making it, but it's a lot. So with that said, I think we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.